Oh, welcome to the movies, pal. You're for the neighborhood Master Chaos. Back with you once again. Gosh, this is a little obnoxious, huh? I'm going to turn this down just a little bit of light. A little bit of light, not too crazy. There you go, a little gentle. That's not too bad. Welcome to the movies. Come on in. It's nice and cold out, and inside it's warm. Sit right in front of the big theater screen here. I've got some hot cocoa for you, or a glass of water, if you'd like. With a little light show as well, just to warm our insides as we talk about probably the most bizarre Christmas horror movie ever made. Silent Night, Deadly Night, Part 2, directed by Lee Harry. Now, when I say bizarre, please understand this isn't Elves bizarre. Elves is on another level. If you haven't seen the review, go check it out. This one, gosh, how can I put it? Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 is the kind of movie that you think would be a slam dunk, an easy sequel. Hey, guess what? It was set up in the first movie. Now, little Ricky is traumatized by the death of his brother as Santa Claus being butchered by the police. So what the hell messed up the makers behind this sequel? Now, this movie gets a lot of love, and only because of Eric Freeman, the actor who plays Ricky. Because he is such an over actor, such a weird face actor. It's hard to describe. I'm just going to say it. He's a bad actor. He's a bad actor. I was trying to tiptoe around it to be polite, but man, he sucks. And in a way, he's this movie's greatest gift. This movie is Ricky's time to shine. We find him in a mental hospital or some kind of prison thing. He's being interviewed by Dr. Bloom. As a matter of fact, the bulk of the movie takes place in this boring, nondescript room where Ricky narrates part 1. For those of you who haven't seen part 2, I'm going to do spoilers, so just a heads up on that. For those of you who have seen it and haven't seen it in a while, my friend, the first 40 minutes of this movie is part 1, is the cliff notes of part 1. All the kills, even the Linnea Quigley scene, her naked again, through the whole movie again. This is basically regurgitating part 1. Literally the first 40 minutes. How much of a sequel do we have? Oh, about 40 minutes. We got about 40 minutes of sequel here, and 40 minutes of repeat. Complete repeat. This is all narrated by Ricky, and he says, "Oh, Billy told me this. He told me everything that happened." No. There's things in here that there's no way Billy could have told Ricky. Unbelievable. Like Billy never had time to tell Ricky, "Oh, and then I broke into this girl's house and she was naked, and then I killed her with antlers." He never had time to tell him that. How did he know that? How? And then why is he telling it to this doctor guy who probably knows all this already? It's almost as if they made a movie for people who hadn't seen part 1. Why do that? And it makes this very difficult if you're watching these back to back, which is what I'm doing. It's like, I already saw these scenes. I didn't fast forward though. It's like, okay, well, maybe they add something different. The only thing they add different is Billy's narrating. "Oh, yes. Then the police broke into the wrong house, and Santa got a nasty surprise." What the hell? How do you know that? Billy wasn't even in that scene. How does Ricky know that happened? It's so bad. And honestly, it put a really bad taste in my mouth rewatching this movie, because I got so pissed at the movie for wasting my time. There's one thing that I will never forgive a movie for, is if it wastes my time. If it wastes your time. Our time is precious, right? We're sitting down to watch a movie. The movie should deliver a compact experience that says every scene here is important, either for character development or for story progression. Don't repeat the last movie for half of your movie, because you're basically making a short film, which is essentially what it is. That being said, after those 40 minutes, the stuff with Ricky is honestly fantastic, but it also makes you pissed again, because you wish, man, there could have been a whole movie with this guy. This guy's nuts. There could have been a whole movie with this guy. We don't get a whole movie with this guy. That is honestly the greatest tragedy of Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. We see what happens to him. He says, oh, well, then my brother died. And then, oh, I got adopted. And then at this foster home, I had issues with nuns. And then when I grew up, I was still pretty fucked up and blah, 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 blah. And then we see sort of how he gets the the killer instinct, for lack of a better word. The difference here is, because of Eric Freeman's so over-the-top, bizarre, overacting performance with his eyebrows going crazy all the time, because of his performance, none of the backstory that we get for Ricky makes him sympathetic like it did for Billy. And that's a big bummer, really, when it comes to this movie, because the first one did such a good job of developing a character, giving us a believable psycho, in the form of Billy, right? So in this case, when we see Ricky's backstory, when we see his first kill, he's walking through the woods and he sees a woman get raped. Man, these people, Billy and Ricky, they have the worst luck. They always run into people getting raped. I don't know what it is about them. They just have a thing. We're like, oh, it's just one of those things. They always run into rapes. Runs into a woman getting raped, and his first kill is he runs over the rapist with his car, and the woman says thank you. I thought that was kind of a cool scene, though, that he didn't kill the woman too. She says thank you, and she walked away, and he walked away too. I thought it was kind of a very interesting way to lay that sequence out. But then he meets a girl. Elizabeth Catane is in the movie, which is great. She's a beautiful girl. We know her from Vice Academy. And she falls in love with Ricky quite easily. And her ex-boyfriend is a dick. And so Billy decides to dispatch him by putting jumper cables in his mouth. It's a great scene. I'll talk about that in a minute. And she's, oh my God, Ricky, what the hell are you doing? I hate you. And then, of course, he doesn't like that because that's naughty. So he has to kill her. And then the best scene in the movie. Are you ready for this? I don't think you're ready for it. I think you know what it is. I don't think you're ready for it. Okay. I know you're ready for it. I'm talking about Garbage Day. Yes, the infamous Garbage Day. The best entire sequence in the movie is the suburban massacre where Ricky snaps, completely snaps and goes haywire. Here, this is when he kills the boyfriend. This is when he kills Elizabeth Catane, Jennifer, I think her name was. And then a cop shows up and says, hey, the cop just randomly shows up, and Ricky easily takes the cop's gun and shoots him in the head. It's a really funny sequence, actually. It's really pretty fantastic. And then he just goes walking down the street shooting people, and there's a really great car stunt where there's a really close call, too, with the actor. I'm guessing it's a stunt actor playing Ricky, because the car nearly clips him as it comes over a ramp. Really, really interesting stunt. And there's explosions. I mean, it's a great scene. It definitely makes up for the really rough, waste of time, 40 minutes where we're just watching part 1 again. But it doesn't make up for it enough. There are 13, possibly 14 kills in this movie. There's one that's debatable. His foster dad. He says, oh, my foster dad died, and it cuts to him at the funeral. Did Billy do it? We don't know. We didn't see it happen. It's debatable. We'll say 13 for now. This movie is, to me, really saved by the deaths that are earned. Of course, we get the deaths from part 1, which I'm not counting in this, but we get twice the deaths here because we get to rewatch the deaths from part 1, and then we get fresh deaths here. This movie is saved by the kills, by their inventiveness, by their just balls to the wall, batshit insanity nature, almost Jason Voorhees type kills. I mean, there's a kill in here where there's a mafia guy beating some guy up in an alley, and Ricky gets an umbrella from the trash, shoves the umbrella through him, and then opens the umbrella. So we get the gag, oh, the umbrella's through him, and it still opens. And then he drops the body, and then, to add insult to injury, in a very poetic twist of fate, it starts to rain. It's almost ridiculously comical. I mean, at that point, you know that the filmmakers are kind of fucking with us at this point. They're just having fun. And that's okay. We're okay with that. We accept that. I think at this point we know Eric Freeman, at least the character he's trying to portray as Ricky. And we get that this is going to be kind of a goof. And it's not going to be as serious a horror picture as the first one. Which is fine. But 13 kills in a very small amount of time, 40 minutes. That's pretty good. That's actually really, really good. Not counting the nude scenes from part 1, we get one nude scene here from Elizabeth Catane. It's kind of side booby. You don't really get them, full on flapping in the wind kind of thing. But it's good enough. It's titillating enough. Fave kill was a toss-up. I almost went with Umbrella Guy, but I decided to go with jumper cables in the mouth. I really enjoyed that. I did not see that coming. It kind of popped out of nowhere. Honestly, I didn't see the umbrella through the stomach coming either. But I feel like that was kind of goofy, whereas the jumper cables kill was a very graphic and horrifying sequence. And I think, man, that almost feels like that's what that would look like if somebody got jumper cables in the goddamn mouth. That's amazing. There's no final girl, really, to speak of in this movie. So let's go to fave line. My fave line in this movie, of course, is Garbage Day. I mean, how could it not be Garbage Day? That is the line that everyone references when they talk about Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. Why? Because it honestly makes no fucking sense. It is so bizarre. Yes, he kills a guy taking out the trash. Why would he say Garbage Day and shoot the guy? It just doesn't make any sense. It's so batshit insane that I can't imagine that was written in the script. And I haven't looked into any of the special features or anything in terms of commentary. If they say, oh yeah, he just improv that because the guy's nuts. It was tough for me to rate this one. So I'm going to go with 2 stars. 2 stars for Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. I almost gave it 0. I was so close to giving it 0. Because of the fact that they wasted half my time. And they wasted half of what could have been a really solid sequel with a really unique actor. And it was all wasted just so we can rewind and watch parts of part 1. Stupid. It's a waste of time. It could never get the 5 stars because of that. However, these 2 stars come because the kills are very inventive and very graphic and pretty memorable. And 2, the guy playing Ricky, Eric Freeman, is amazing. I mean, this guy is like the Laurence Olivier of bad actors. I'm surprised he didn't work more. This guy is amazing. It's because of him that the movie shines. It's because of the kills that the movie's memorable. 2 stars just for those 2 elements alone. Also, there was a really fun little moment where him and Elizabeth Catane go to the movies and they're watching Silent Night, Deadly Night. Very fun meta moment there. We just got through watching this movie and now we're watching it again, but they're watching it as inside their universe. Very strange. Very strange. But I like that. I appreciate that. It kind of goes more to show that that's sort of the idea they were going. They were honestly just having fun. The first 2 acts are designed as flashbacks. So the first act is part 1. The second act is Ricky's backstory, after his brother died. And then the third act is really the finale, which is satisfying. We get a wrap-up of the story. Ricky escapes the prison, whatever the hell, mental hospital that he's at, and he goes to the orphanage to get revenge on Mother Superior, who for some reason has a mutated face. I mean, what the hell happened to her? She was... Ricky didn't do this, so Billy didn't do it either. How did this woman mutate? Regardless of that fact, and the fact that he's only Santa for 1 scene at the end of the movie, which is also a bummer. He's not really a killer Santa in this movie. It's almost not even a Christmas movie, to be honest. It's very much not a Christmas movie. Beyond those elements, we do actually get a satisfying reckoning when it comes to the Billy and Ricky storyline, and it feels kind of wrapped up, even though it leaves it open for a sequel, and we know there's sequels. Tomorrow I'll be talking about part 3. Stay tuned for that one. I feel like their initial nugget of story is wrapped up satisfyingly enough, despite the fact that most of the movie is flashbacks. I would say 80% of the movie is flashbacks. Keep that in mind when you watch this movie if you haven't already, my friend. It is worth it just for the acting alone. It is mind-bogglingly weird. Okay, pal, that'll do. Time to close the theater down here. It's getting cold in here, and I don't want the projector to freeze, so I'm going to send you on your way. Thank you for joining me. It means a lot having you here. Really, really does. I hope you'll join me again. I really, really hope you do, pal. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll be here, so I hope you will be as well. For now, have a wonderful, happy holidays. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy whatever you celebrate. Happy whatever time of year it is for you right now. If you're not watching this during Christmas, I am, as always, your Philly neighborhood Master Chaos, and I love you. And you have been entertained.